Hello, my name is Patricia Holmes and I'm your Photoshop instructor. We are picking up this exercise in Chapter 2. If you're following me in the book, I am on page 54, and we now are going to learn a new tool that is called the Content Aware Patch. So the Content Aware Patch is located behind the Spot Healing Brush tool on this menu. It's right here, the Patch tool. And we're going to use this. But before we use it, let me tell you what we're going to do. We need to remove this person because this person is actually not part of this family. But we want to remove this person without deleting this part of the photo. So how do we do that? This tool will do it. What you want to do is you want to go on Patch, you want to use Content Aware, make sure that's selected up here in the option menu. Our adaptation is going to be very strict and make sure sample all layers are available. So we want to make sure we're on the layer that's holding the photo, which it is. I'm going to move this over, move this, there. And I want to take this and I want to take the outline of this person. So I'm going to hold the mouse down and I'm just going to keep the mouse held down, and I have to draw the outline of this person we're removing, including the shadow. And I'm going to try to work quickly. All right, so here we go. All right, and I have to touch the very beginning of where I started to complete that circle. So we have our marching ants, which means that the person has been selected. Now I'm going to take the tool here and I'm going to actually move the boy away. So I'm going to come over here. I got to make sure I'm on this. Could not use patch tool because no layers were selected. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is let me relocate this. I'm on the layer. I just accidentally deselected it. I'm going to take the patch tool and I'm going to move him over here. And the software is taking all the surrounding pixels and filling it in. Okay, so now I'm going to deselect it by hitting Command D, and the person's gone, and the software did the very best job it could to fill in this area, which is actually quite remarkable. What we're going to do is we're going to come here and we are going to fix this a little bit more. We're going to enhance this area right here that was here. So one of the things we want to do is use our clone stamp that we previously learned. So I'm now on page 55, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sample. So for example, look at this crack here. We want that crack to line up and we want to kind of blend this. So I'm going to press Alt Command and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Alt Command. Remember with clone you got to constantly go back and re-click that, reload the good sample, which is the Alt part, and then brush it on. So I'm going to come here, Alt Command, and again brush it on. Okay, and one more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to determine that one of these cracks we'll have to use as a master. So I'm going to grab this one, Alt, click, and come down here and click. Okay, then I'm going to Alt click again. I'm going to come down here, click, click, and let's do one more. Alt click and come down here and go click. Okay, and one more. Alt click and then center it there. Now the bottom here, we need to come back with a new sample. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go Alt, click, and I'm just going to brush, clean that up. Alt, click, and I'm going to brush. I'm going to clean that up like that. And remember, Alt, click, you're going to have to reload. Alt, click to get it all cleaned up like that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And let's come over here and fix this line. Alt, click, boom. Boom, again, this is kind of coming together pretty good. Okay, you can continue to work on it, follow the book, and you know, take your time. I'm trying to rush because I'm of course video recording my lesson here. The buildings look pretty good. The book has you correct this area if need be. I can see this area right here needs to be corrected. So take some time and do that. The next thing we're going to do, the next exercise, which is on page 56, is we're going to sharpen this image. And what we got to do in order to see some of the old aspects of this image is we really have to zoom in on this. And they're asking us to zoom in on the boy's shirt to 400%. There's 300, there's 400. You can see all these specks and everything. So let's use a filter. And if you go filter, and you choose noise, and you choose the dust and scratch one, you're going to get a dialog box. We are asked to enter a radius of 1, which is already in there, and a threshold of 0. So let me tell you what a threshold does. A threshold value determines how dissimilar the pixels should be before they're eliminated. So we have a 0. But the radius value determines the size of the area searched for a dissimilar pixel. So when you see that, you're going to see a pretty small size. So we're comparing and we're contrasting. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click OK. But those little specks went away. I'm not sure if you noticed that. We can sharpen this image now. We can sharpen this image. I'm going to back out of it just a little bit so you can see it. And it has kind of that old school dullness to it. We're going to sharpen it by going to Filter, Sharpen, and we're going to choose Smart Sharpen. So there's a few sharpen options that we eventually are going to cover, but today it's going to be Smart Sharpen. And we get to kind of toggle it to see as we see fit to do. The author's asked us to drag the inside preview window in the dialog box to see the different parts of the image. So we can move this, is what the author's saying. And we can use the plus or minus buttons below the thumbnail to zoom in, to zoom out. So this will allow us to zoom in, to zoom out right here, and to zoom in here. So this is what this dialog box offers us. So we want to make sure that the lens blur is chosen in the remove menu. So we want to come over here to remove and choose the lens blur. And then we're going to drag the slider to about 60%. And we want the amount to be about 60. And then we want the radius slider to be about 1.5. We can also type it in or you can drag it. Okay, and then when you're satisfied with the result, you're going to click OK, and you're going to see it really did sharpen. I'm not sure if the video is showing this or not, but I can clearly see on my computer it's sharpened. Now, before I leave this photo, we originally started in an earlier video of using the spot healing brush to clean up this seam, this kind of like old type of crack in this. I only did a partial amount, but I want you guys to go back and I want you to make sure you get this whole seam cleared up by using, I'm kind of doing it now live on this video, but I don't want to finish this up unless I clean that up. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay guys, that is the big picture of chapter 2. Thank you for listening.